What is a train consist for the world's longest trains? Imagine a train so long that it stretches over several kilometers, carrying thousands of tons of cargo or hundreds of passengers. That's what makes understanding a train consist so fascinating. A train consist is simply the arrangement of locomotives and railcars that make up a train. For the longest trains in the world, this setup becomes incredibly complex and carefully planned. These trains often have multiple locomotives spaced along the length to provide enough power and control. For example, the longest passenger train ever built by Switzerland's Rheinischen Railway had 25 modern locomotives called Capricorn engines and 100 passenger cars. This train was nearly 1.91 kilometers long, or about 1.2 miles. It was powered by hydroelectric energy from local sources, which is quite impressive. Managing such a long train requires sophisticated control systems, so one engineer can operate all the locomotives at once. On the freight side, the longest recorded train was built by BHP Iron Ore in Australia. It measured 7.353 kilometers long, or about 4.57 miles. This train had 682 ore cars filled with iron ore and was pulled by 8 powerful diesel-electric locomotives. These locomotives were spaced along the train to help control the forces between cars and keep everything stable. The freight train carried around 82,000 metric tons of iron ore and had over 5,600 wheels. The control system allowed a single driver to operate all the locomotives, even though they were spread out over several kilometers. Other long trains include the Ghan in Australia, which is a passenger train nearly 1.2 kilometers long with up to 44 cars, running a route of almost 3,000 kilometers. In Russia, some passenger trains have 32 cars and stretch over 846 meters. Indian trains often run about 600 meters with 24 cars. These trains all have a few things in common. They use multiple locomotives placed along the train to give enough power and control. They carry hundreds of cars or carriages depending on what they are transporting. They also have advanced control systems, so one person can manage the entire train. Special tracks and infrastructure are built to support these massive vehicles. They use energy sources like diesel engines or renewable hydroelectric power. So, in simple terms, the train consist for these colossal trains is a carefully arranged lineup of many locomotives and hundreds of cars. This setup helps distribute power evenly, keeps the train stable, and makes it possible to move enormous loads or large groups of passengers over long distances.